So in this video, we'll be talking about Scorpio Sun in the 4th house and what this placement means natally. So in a general sense, what the Sun indicates is it shows us our actions and how it is perceived by others. So like the constant way that we tend to act, because the Sun is fixed fire. It's a constant ball of fire. In astrology, it rules Leo, the fixed fire sign. That's why I say fixed fire. So it's just the way that we constantly tend to act, because fixed is about constant state and fire is about action. And that's why it is how others perceive our personality. And that's a way to look at the Sun sign. With the Sun in Scorpio in the 4th house, this indicates you're quite a private individual. Your actions always have some element of secrecy to them or privacy. You don't necessarily like to expose what you have going on for yourself, or you don't really like to share things publicly that don't regard other people. So a lot of times with this placement, it indicates that you're more interested in personal affairs, things such as family, because the 4th house rules family, personal interests, so like creative interests, but like stuff that you do at home. A lot of times this will show somebody that is more of a homely individual. So you like to stay home, you like to be comfortable. And in fact, you care a lot about comfort and security. With the Sun in Scorpio in the 4th house, this indicates somebody that is motivated by security and comfort, because the Sun in Scorpio shows motivation, a constant feeling of motivation. With that being said, you're not somebody that likes to draw attention to yourself, but only from specific people. And I guess you only want to draw attention to yourself from specific people, because with the Sun in the 4th house, this shows that part of your emotional security, or how you feel emotionally fulfilled in relationships and in family, is when you receive some sort of attention. But you don't like to seek it directly. You like to do it in indirect ways. So you never directly let people know your need for attention. It's just sometimes you do things in order to get people's attention that you care about, if that makes any sense. And so it can be like manipulative in that way, but it's like this need to be seen. And with the Sun in the 4th house, it shows that sometimes you have this feeling of being not seen, especially because the 4th house is the 12th house from the Sun's house, which is the 5th house. The Sun rules the 5th house, and the 12th is about isolation or being invisible, being subconscious. So a lot of times you have to do things in order to get seen when you have this placement, and you do it in roundabout ways. But for the most part, with most people, you don't do things to get attention. So you're more private. Now, the reason why that's important is because the Sun shows us our ego, and it shows us how we shine in the world, and it also shows the desire for validation and whatnot. So in the 4th house, it kind of does the opposite. It's very private. Now, also, the people that have this placement will tend to be very loyal, and that is something that motivates their actions, because the most important thing to them is security and comfort. So being able to depend on certain people unconditionally, and to be able to depend on their living situation. And usually what gives them comfort is an emotional connection, or like an emotional agreement, or this emotional understanding that will always remain. So that's what the 4th house in Scorpio will indicate. Scorpio is about things that are non-tangible. They're more like the dynamics between people. It's more of an emotional dynamic. So you have like this very powerful loyalty about yourself. As well, you are highly creative with this placement, but you tend to keep what you make to yourself. Like, you don't really share it with the world. The reason why the sun in the 4th house shows creativity is because it's in the 12th house from the 5th house. The sun is in the 12th house from its own house. The 12th is about creativity and big picture thinking. And the 4th house is about creative projects or creative interests, personal interests. So you likely have a lot of creations that you've made. Especially as a child, you probably made a lot of things in the home. Like, you probably painted a lot or drew or like made things with Legos, and like you made art and like creative things. That's probably an interest that you have. But it's more of a personal thing. You just keep what you make to yourself. But yeah, and as I was saying earlier with this placement, this indicates somebody that gets their personal needs met by using the psychology of others. So sometimes you realize the best way to get your emotional needs met and to receive, the attention that you need is by putting on a show, or by creating some drama, or giving others what they want to see, or like kind of teasing others and leading them to you. And that's kind of a way that you get your emotional needs met, because the 4th house shows emotional needs or emotional security, and Scorpio is the psychology of other people. But if we really want to sum up this placement in the most common way, is that it will show somebody that's motivated by security and comfort. So yeah, that basically wraps up this video and what I wanted to cover. I hope that was interesting, insightful, or that you learned something or you saw yourself in some way. And if you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. With that being said, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do, and I will see you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.